What's happening? Joey Antonelli here, and we are doing some snapper fishing. We got Nanton of Antonelli's Furniture. We got Captain Ryan McKay of Hook and Reel Charters. And we have Con Marie of Connie's Abaco Tours. Ryan, what do you got started over here?
This is a secret.
Secret? Getting them on the free line. What do we got going on back here? We got some little chummies floating back. Looking for some red snappers or mangrove snapper, and then we're gonna do some diving. But while Ryan's getting set up and Connie's getting set up, I'll show you something that's kind of cool. He's got some chummies going. Over here on our Garmin's, we now have reef scope. You see that piece of chum right there? We have a live camera that shoots down so we can see if anything's coming up in the chum. That's a red snapper tailing away right there. I got a quick little install video I want to show you. This is reef scope, and it's pretty simple installation that you can do yourself. This new product's called Reef Scope. Reef Scope comes with absolutely everything you see here, and the installation is very simple. And the best part of it, it connects to the electronics that are already in your boat. So to do the installation, the first thing we're going to do is drill a hole through the transom above the water line, just bigger than the plug. You see we put the plug through there, then pull the rest of the cable through. Good. Now from the inside of the boat, we're going to attach that cable to the chaser and pull it to the center of the boat where the electronics are. This particular boat has Garmin units in it, so we're going to take the plug and connect it to the other end, and now we will have our hot, our ground, and our video cable. We'll take the video cable and just plug it right into the back of the Garmin. We do not need to do anything else to the Garmin. After that, it's the power. It needs the hot and the ground. We had them wired up to an accessory switch that was already in the boat. Now it's time to mount the camera. We lined up the bracket where we wanted it and pre-drilled 4 holes, filled them with 5200, and then used the marine grade stainless hardware to attach the bracket. Once the bracket's secured, we can then hang the camera in there, use the hardware to attach the camera, and the camera can be tilted forward and back. You can play with it, see what looks best on your boat. Now where that cable goes into the boat, we packed the hole with a little bit of painter's tape just so the 5200 wouldn't go just pouring in the boat. And this just kind of secures everything, makes it all nice and waterproof. And then we're ready to go. The camera is already connected to our Garmin, so all we have to do is turn it on. And you can see lovely Nick from Boat and Motor Superstore in Palm Bay, Florida. This is what it looks like. We're going to zoom in and show you, I don't know, a minute or so of my very first time using it. I will be using this camera non-stop this entire summer. Whether it's dragging over bottom in the Bahamas to see what the bottom looks like, or what I'm really excited to use it for is bottom fishing, to see what's coming up in the chum. I could be fishing for snappers and look down and be like, oh, there's kingfish mowing our chum down. That's not why we're not getting bit. Or if you're reeling a fish up, your buddy can look at it and say, sharks on him, sharks on him. You'll know earlier than just looking over the side of the boat. It'll give you a clearer view and just give you, if nothing else, it's a cool factor, but I think it'll give you a little bit of an edge when you're bottom fishing, or if you're tuna fishing and you're pulling a fish up and you see sharks on them. It just is super cool. I don't know what to say besides it's super cool. Sorry to be redundant there, but it is super cool. And then here's a red snapper coming up. We're going to end the video with a red snapper coming up. I fished with it for a full day. I had a lot of fun playing with it. I only screen recorded for about 5 minutes on it, and that's what you're looking at here. Now you may have noticed that I was already wet when I was just talking earlier, and that's because we did hop in the water. We did do one quick little hop in before we started fishing, and we'll get back to the fishing in a second, but first let me show you what I saw at the first spot. Now the water was like a really greenish but clear color. It was super clear. I could make out the bottom, and I could see lots of fish, starting with blue runners, which means there are definitely sharks around. Blue runners tend to follow the bull sharks in my area, and I was greeted by a big red snapper. Now I'm going to be able to get out there and do this a lot, so I didn't take the shot. I wanted my brother and I wanted Connie to get a chance at some red snapper. So my brother dropped down. Nicky dropped down on a big mangrove snapper, and you can barely see it in the video. It's just kind of tailing away from him in the center of the screen. And instead of like wasting his dive, I guess you could say, or wasting the effort, he kind of pauses there and stops chasing the fish, turns around and sees that big red snapper. Nikki got a great holding shot on a really good sized red snapper. It's hard to tell how big these fish are, but that's a good one, and it's struggling, which means bull sharks. 1 bull shark, 2 bull sharks, and a third one will show up eventually. Now I have the spear loaded, I'm swimming down, which was enough to kind of deter the sharks from coming up anymore. But here in a second, you're going to see the size of this red snapper. It's a really, really good sized fish. Now we're allowed 75 pounds, and it doesn't take many of these fish to equal 75 pounds, but we're done for now. We're going to go do some rod and reel action. Nikki's going to make his way into the boat, and that will be our first one of the season. First red snapper of the season. Nikki got him. There you go. First red snapper of the season right there. Chunker, right about a 15 pounder or so. Looking good. Hook and reel, baby. Hook and reel charters on them.
Oh, that's the big one right there.
Yeah, that's that. Maybe it's
All right, you're looking good, Rye. You're looking good. Nikki, you want to grab my net? Captain Rye McKay with the SaltX 2.0. There you go, Rye. Go easy with him. Go easy with him now. How you like that? Is that a flipper or?
flip or die.
Nikki will come grab him in the net for you. Rye really wants to flip him.
You do?
I can tell. Just like that, red snapper fishing's easy.
Alright, a little bit now.
No, she's good. She's good. Just pull.
You want to get shark.
There you go. There you go. Just every little bit you gain is good. Con. Nikki will help you when he gets up. Look at the camera. Can you see the fish? Oh no, it's up in front. You won't see it the way the fish is up front. The camera goes out behind the boat to see our chum. Come on, Connie. Flex them muscles.
Two-handed this thing.
Sometimes you gotta wrap 2 hands on it. Right, Con?
I mean, I'm used to that. I'm a big old Scott.
Come on, Connie. You can't see him because he's right under the boat. Keep going, keep going. I got color. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Nice and easy now. Nice and easy now. That's a stud. Oh, doubled up. 1 in the boat. Slide to the other side of the boat so Ryan's got room. Nice one.
Heck yeah.
It's not a snapper.
Yes, they are. They're all big snappers.
That one's not a snapper. Ryan!
Come on, Rye.
That one got sharp.
You're good, you're good. No, you guys are tangled. Nikki, come net this fish. Now, I was watching on the reef scope camera and I could just see how many reds were down there and I was just losing my mind. I wanted to get in the water and shoot one. I haven't shot one yet this season, and this was going to be my first fish. I aimed at the chum, waited for the shot. They ate it, but then they got too curious. They came back for a second look, and that would prove to be not a good call on their part. I missed the El Rolo shot, though. Not happy with that. I like to get the El Rolo, and that surely wasn't it. I knew it was a good shot. I could pull real hard, and I was right below that reef scope camera this whole time, and Connie will tell you more about that once I get back up to the surface. But I'm ripping on them, getting this fish up to the surface, and the red snapper is sticking around. We got them chummed up good. We'll just keep working at those. Come over by Connie. Connie, come back here too. You're gonna be a star of this. First red snapper for me
The star.
of the season. Connie, come here. Come taste this.
What?
Come here. See what that tastes like. Look its tail.
I don't know how you didn't smack me with
I
it.
thought of it.
I don't know how you didn't.
Try one more time.
No, I didn't know because I know how you're
Wait,
going to
so
do
this
it.
is my first red snapper of the commercial season, and they said I was right in line with the camera. What'd you see?
You were spread eagle like a starfish, like 30 feet down. You could see it perfect on the Garmin, and then Nick even saw when you pulled the trigger.
There we go.
Really cool.
We need like a couple more fish. After that fish, I got back in the water and reloaded my spear gun. The spear gun I'm using is a Koah 120 Euro. I've had this gun for a long time. It's been in many, many videos. And like I said before, we're only allowed 75 pounds. So if I'm given the option between a mangrove snapper and a red snapper, I will almost always take the mangrove snapper because I can get a lot more of those, and it's a pretty safe assumption that I'm going to get my 75 pounds of red snapper. So it's like a bonus fish. I go out for the 75 pounds of red snapper. Anything else is bonus. This is a nice school of big mangroves. Actually, no, these were smaller mangroves, but I had a nice dumb one swim right up to me. I hit him, and I'm 0 for 2 on the El Rolos. No El Rolo there. But I'm ripping on them hard, and this is a sandbar shark, not a bull shark. You cannot harvest these sharks. They're protected federally, and there's a lot of them. I don't agree with them being protected federally, but you can't keep them. So landed that mangrove snapper, and it was a small one by offshore standards. Still a really good sized fish, but probably only about a 4-pounder or so. Now I'm dropping down again on the red snappers. There's an El Rolo, but it's not a real El Rolo. The fish did an El Rolo, but it's not a true stone shot. That's a spine shot. I took a long shot on it. I didn't have a good breath. I just kind of went down real quick. And this was also right below that reef scope camera. So it's cool for the people in the boat. They can see what's going on. They know I just shot something, and I pulled it in, threw it in the boat. Back to the mangrove action. Now, this is a big mangrove. This is a much nicer mangrove. Drifting down, really slow movements, simple little kicks with my fins, and we had a big one coming in. Kept the gun lined up on him. I had the options for a big red snapper, but like I said, I want the mangrove. Barely missed the stone shot again. I'm not on today. Some days it's all stone shots. Some days, I mean, you're off by a centimeter, and it could be the difference of a stone shot, and stone shot meaning kill the fish instantly, or a battle like that. In a battle like that, attract sharks. But none came up that drop, so not really that big of a deal. I got the spear loaded back up, and I'm making my drop down. Now we're almost at our limit of red snapper. And it's nice to have a mixture of size. Like the ones we catch hook and line are usually smaller than the ones we shoot, just because they can be a lot more selective. But this was a big one. And it is so focused on the chum, I know I'm going to get a perfect shot because it doesn't care how close I get. It's not paying any attention to me. And that's the stone shot. That's the true El Rolo. He didn't do a roll, but I call that an El Rolo. Any kind of stone shot. It's lights out, no struggle, and to me the biggest advantage of that is not dealing with sharks. I don't think I've ever had a shark come in on a fish that I stoned. I like to pull them up slowly because then the fish doesn't go crazy, like from just spinning around the spear. And I was feeling really good about this dive, and I knew this was a really good sized fish. That would limit us out for the day on red snapper. But I'm not quite done. We're going to show you what this fish looks like. Here you can see the size of it. I think we weighed it, but I'm not too sure. I don't remember if we weighed this one individually, but I would say it's another like 15-pounder, 18-pounder, something like that, maybe even 20. But I don't remember off the top of my head what this one weighed exactly. Right, pull that. Pull hard.
Don't worry, I'm getting all of it.
It was in the bone. Headshots.
Whoop. Give him a push.
Alright, I'm regrouping. You ready to see him, Koah?
Yeah.
Busy.
He's got to get the shot first, Nick.
El Rolo! This will be my last dive clip of the day. Now, you can see it's much greener. I didn't have the camera on at the beginning, but this was a good dive for me. This is down on the bottom in about 75 or 78 feet. and I was a little bit off the bottom, and the fish was pulling hard. It was a strong fish. It's trying to make it to the ledge. I looked up and saw that I was still a good ways down, and I feel good. I just know that I got to pull this fish hard, and I got to kind of play that median of give it a little bit of line, but also get to the surface. Connie was there to back me up a little bit, help me out, and then I could start ripping on the fish. Now, this was not a great shot, but I could hardly see down there. I mean, the camera makes it look a little clearer than it was. I could barely make out that fish. I was pretty surprised that I actually hit it. There's a thing when you're pulling the trigger. Normally you expect to, like, okay, that's a perfect shot. No doubt in my mind I rolled it. But when I pulled that trigger, I was like, geez, I hope I actually hit the fish. And I got a good shot. I pulled it hard. No sharks around. And this was a giant mangrove snapper. It was just over 12-pound mangrove snapper, which was going to be my biggest mangrove of the day. But it was a meat shot. Not proud of the shot at all, but happy we got the fish in the boat.